Welcome back, we the people. Chapter 14, verse 9, continuing. King James mistranslation. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And the third messenger, Raphael Zadok, son of Wakabiel and Fikrael, followed them, Malachi Zadok and Gabriel Zadok, saying with a big voice, If anyone worshipped the wild beast, the cursed seed of Lebanon, in brackets, Canaan, close brackets, and his image, wanting to be like him in every way, will receive his mark, in brackets, the Canaanites, the Amorites' approval, close brackets, in his forehead or his hand, receiving money for betraying other Nubians. This is living in the image of the beast, and not living in the image of your ancestors. The evil one has done a great job in making you hate yourself. Next heading here, continuing, this is further description from Dr. York here. So that's the end of the translation. We're now going into a descriptive reading here from Dr. York. What is the image of the beast? Heading, image of the beast. Nubian people feel inferior to the Amorite. Therefore, they hate themselves, trying to be them and live in the image of the beast by processing or pressing your hair, bleaching your skin and dyeing your hair, straightening your nose and thinning your lips, trying to talk and act like them, etc., etc., etc. The devil has cunningly seduced the Nubian man and woman into idolizing his image. You have been seduced into thinking that the blonde-haired, blue-eyed person is a superior race of beings. The Canaanite man is attempting to make you lose your heritage, just as Napoleon chopped off the noses of the statues in Kemet, in brackets Egypt, close bracket, in order to hide the fact that they had Nubian features. In the schools, they are deciding who's great and who's not. They are the ones who set up the classes and decided what courses that you are to take. They call these courses African Studies. When you learn very little about Africans and more about select American leaders of their choice. They already have their own leaders, and those are the faces that you see on money. You'll never see the face of a... And here we have a depiction on this page of a drawing of Napoleon and his crew trying to knock the nose and the lips of the Sphinx so that they do not look Nubian anymore. The evidence is right before us, people. Go to Egypt and see it for yourself. Reading on. Nubian man or woman on money. The closest that they got to a Nubian on money was President Abraham Lincoln, in brackets 1809 AD to 1865 AD, close brackets, who was a mulatto, according to, in quotations, The Five Negro Presidents by J.A. Rogers on page 7, where a picture portrays Abraham Lincoln as a Nubian, showing how he had woolly hair. So once again, they are choosing who and what you learn about. They will teach you about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., George Washington Carver, Alex Haley, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, Nat Turner, Benjamin Banneker, Jean Baptiste, Point de Sable, Gustavus Vassa, W. E. Du Bois, Eli Whitney, and Crispus Attucks, etc. People who they feel that you need to know about. They'll teach you about the Nubians that were fighting for them or who were working with them. Those are the ones they like. But what about other leaders? They won't teach you about Noble Drew Ali or Marcus Garvey, or Kankan Mansa Musa, or Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or Clarence 13X, in quotations, pudding, close brackets, the Nubians who spoke out against them. No matter how intelligent they were, or how much they were loved by Nubians, or what they have contributed, they don't teach you about them. Recently, college students have been allowed to read the autobiography of Malcolm X as part of a course. They would love for you to read this book that was written by a Nubian who was considered, in quotation, an Uncle Tom, close quotation, by other Nubians named Alex Haley, who never lived in Harlem and was married to a Caucasian. Or they will let someone like Spike Lee make a movie on the life story of Malcolm X, who doesn't know anything about the times of Malcolm X because he wasn't there, nor was he ever a member of the Nation of Islam or any other sect of Muslims. All he knows is what someone has told him and what he learned through books that were written with only the information that they wanted you to know about him, which would be that he was a radical, militant leader who believed in violence, who defected from the Nation of Islam and became part of the Pale Arab movement. They don't point out that he changed his name from Malcolm X to Malik el-Shabazz, and the name Shabazz was introduced by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and is a name exclusively used by those devoted to him. If he didn't change the name Shabazz, he was still loyal in some way to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right up until his death. They don't want you to know about the love he had for his people. When they write books about him, they don't tell you of how he was telling his people to do for themselves or love and respect themselves. They publish quotes from his speeches like, in quotations, "I don't believe we're going to overcome," in parentheses, by, close parentheses, singing. If you're going to get your .45 and start singing, "We shall overcome, I am with you," or things like, in quotations, "by any means necessary," or "you have to walk with a hand grenade and tell the man, 'Listen, you give us what we've got coming or nobody's going to get anything,'" close quotation. Leaving you with the impression of some crazy, violent, criminal-minded man who was a menace to society, forgetting that he was an inspiration and learned all of this from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who reformed him from being a criminal product of society, like many of the children are today, and more people like Honorable Elijah Muhammad are needed today because he was able to change such a man. They don't want Nubians, especially Nubian men, to be aware of the power that they once possessed. That is why I, Dr. Malachi Z. York, am here to make clear all things to you. Reader speaking here. Are we listening, we the people? Okay, this is good stuff. Continue reading on the other side.